I was gone for 5 days, and when I returned, I saw my feed exploded with talks of the new anime series Cyberpunk Edgerunners being a possible anime of the year. So I got back, binged it, and now I'm here to give my thoughts on it. So without further ado, I am Tiago, the Attack on Tiago, and for today's video, I'll be going over Cyberpunk Edgerunners and why it is the best video game adaptation. First, let's start with a short synopsis. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story about a street kid trying to survive in a technology and body modification obsessed city of the future. Having everything to lose, he chooses to stay alive by becoming an edgerunner, a mercenary outlaw, also known as a cyberpunk. Now, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, as many of you watching this video probably already know, is an original anime series that is set in the world of the massively controversial video game Cyberpunk 2077.
Where else?
And this series was announced before the game released by the studio developing the anime series Studio Trigger, which was responsible for very popular and acclaimed series like Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. But honestly, after its announcement and the video game's huge disappointment, the anime series was pretty forgotten overall by many people. I even completely forgot that this series was still a thing and was coming out. I feel it flew completely under the radar, even though it is based off a big name video game and has a big name studio attached to it. But either way, this anime's expectations were quite low. And then I watched the series, and I realized how much of an idiot I am to have not noticed it sooner. Only lasting 10 episodes, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is an insanely fun, over-the-top, fast-paced joyride from start to finish. Starting with the world. The world is great. The anime spends a lot of time building up the world and adding so much uniqueness to it. But to be fair, the world of Cyberpunk 2077, the game, was never one of its complaints, so it makes sense that it was well handled in the anime. Another thing that was amazing was the soundtrack. It felt super unique and had a nice blend of hip-hop and other genres, all for it to match very well and even more so divine the world of Cyberpunk. The characters also, I thought, were all well done. Sadly, it is 10 episodes, so I wish there were more moments of development with the characters. But for 10 episodes, and for the pace it was moving at, the characters were all very well fleshed out with their motives and ideals. The main two characters definitely were the two highlights in David Martinez and Lucy, as both of them came from completely different backgrounds and ended up in similar situations, and their chemistry together I thought was very well done. Rebecca and Maine, I would say, are the other two characters with a lot of standout moments.
Looks like we gotta change our plans. You're back to 20.
Now, the story and plot definitely have a lot of familiarity and some predictability to it, but I was actually quite fine with that. Studio Trigger did something very cool with the series. As I was watching it, I felt like I was watching Gurren Lagann again, but in a cyberpunk world. And you can definitely see a lot of familiar story beats, which I really didn't mind. I actually found it fun realizing it since Gurren Lagann is one of my favorite anime. And throughout the anime, you can tell Studio Trigger left its signature throughout the series, as the animation and style oozed and over-the-top action scenes were very reminiscent. And again, like I mentioned, the pacing was great. Never a dull moment or any breathing room. The anime sets up everything super well and right off the bat and gets you sucked in for the rest of the anime. Now, many people hear video game adaptation, and for a long time, video game adaptations were, well, quite horrible. But the biggest success for that came in the form of Arcane last year, adapted from the game League of Legends. Arcane was a massive hit, and was very well received, and I too absolutely fell in love with it. So now with Cyberpunk Edgerunners out, and drawing a lot of critical buzz, people may be wondering how it compares to Arcane. And this is where it gets tough, since Arcane already had a huge backing, and people were already hyped for it, after the trailers and the game being one of the most popular games of all time. But Cyberpunk Edgerunners had the opposite effect. It had everything going against it. Zero hype, a disappointment for a game to base off of, and yet it completely knocked it out of the park. I cannot say which is better at the moment, as both are truly great series. But what Cyberpunk Edgerunners did is truly impressive, and deserves to be mentioned in possible Anime of the Year discussions. Well everyone, that is it for the video. Have any of you seen Cyberpunk Edgerunners? If you haven't, please do, and let me know your thoughts on it in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me. Also be sure to check out the Attack on Tiago community Discord server. Link is down below. I am Tiago with Attack on Tiago, and I hope you all have a nice day.